Hi guys, it's Megan from Megabuck Savings, and I'm going to be making two pies this year. I'm going to be making one that is a gluten-free one, and then one that is a regular non-gluten-free. But yeah, let's go ahead and get right into this. So I'm going to share with you guys the gluten-free pie first. So this is just the pie crust that I'm making, and a while back ago when I went to Dollar Tree, I had got this book. It's a gluten-free recipe book for breakfast, brunch, and beyond. With my pumpkin pie crust is that I'm going to be making this crust for the. You're gonna need a 1/4 of a teaspoon of table salt, and so I had actually poured it out, but then realized that I had salt already in my butter, and you need butter for this as well. So I'm not going to add the salt because I have salted butter. So you're going to need to have a 1/3 of a cup or 5 1/3 tablespoons of unsalted melted butter. This in the microwave real quick. And I am going to actually use my Dollar Tree bowls that I got. And I'm just going to cube it up into my bowl. And today is a lazy day for me. I have the day off of work. So I'm going to go ahead and stick this in the microwave. And then I'm going to put it on 10-second intervals. In those 30 seconds, I just did 10-second intervals. So mine's already melted already. Alright, so here's the butter and the salt. And then it asks for 1.5 cups of almond flour. And then it asks for 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum. Now, xanthan gum is often in gluten-free flours, so I have this Crusty's gluten-free flour, and it already has xanthan gum in it, and you can usually tell by the ingredients on the back here. It will tell you what is on there. But I have 1/2 cup of the gluten-free all-purpose flour because it had xanthan gum in it. And so I'm hoping that will be sufficient enough, you know, for 1/2 teaspoon in here. So here is that. And then here is the almond flour, and I just used 1 cup. But if you have xanthan gum, of course use that, and then it would be 1.5 cups of the almond flour, and then this gluten-free flour. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dump these into the bowl. Grease a 9-inch baking pie pan with unsalted butter. You can use like a oil or with like a paper towel and kind of rub in there as well. In a large bowl, whisk together the almond flour, salt, and xanthan gum. Obviously, I already have all of that in the bowl, and then I dump out the baking powder. So it asks for 1/8 of a teaspoon of baking powder. Using a fork, toss until the butter is evenly throughout. You can use a fork or you can use one of these. I'll probably use that. I'll probably use that as I go. So I'm just gonna pour the butter in. Anyway, I used these Dollar Tree bowls, and then I used, well, I would have used the Dollar Tree salt, but I couldn't find it, and I had some left of this, and then obviously I didn't need it because I had butter. And then I needed cream cheese. I have cream cheese here, but you can get that at the Dollar Tree as well. It's cheaper to buy it at the store. And I just get the 2-pack for like $1.37 at Baker's. And so I just need thawing out some cream cheese, and then you need a can of pumpkin, which you can get at the Dollar Tree. I got mine at Baker's as well, which is a Kroger affiliate. And then I have my Dollar Tree book here, which is great for gluten-free options. There are lots of cookbooks often there, so check it out. If you do go to the Dollar Tree, check out their book area, and you will often find recipes there. I'm not going to make the pumpkin pie as of yet. I'm just making the crusts right now. But I also got these graham crackers from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be making a graham cracker crust. I've never in my life made a graham cracker crust. I have my good old Betty Crocker cookbook that I had gotten a while back ago when I registered for their coupons on their website like forever ago. They sent a thank you, and this was their thank you, and so I got a free cookbook for just signing up to get coupons. It was crazy. I don't even know if they still do that or not. Now I took the 24 slices of breadcrumbs and I smashed them up in the bag. Yes, yes, yes. So now that I have that mashed down, it says to add a half of a cup of melted butter, which a whole stick of butter is a half of a cup. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the same bowl that I used, my Dollar Tree bowl. And then I'm going to cut this up into slices to help with the melting process. And again, I'm doing it in 10-second intervals, and I already had it laying out on the counter, so I'll only need it for about 30 seconds total of 10-second intervals. So I did forget to add the ice cold water to the dough for the gluten-free dough. So I just added that in already. I just put some water, and I got this at the Dollar Tree as well a while ago. They still carry these in different colors as well. But I just took some water, put it in the ice, put it in the freezer for about a half an hour, and then just use that. And then I just used 3 tablespoons of that. I got this rolling pin at the Dollar Tree as well. I got it a while back. They still do carry these. My recipe actually just says to, because obviously this is a quiche recipe, but it says to cook it with the quiche. So I'm going to go ahead and fill the pan with the pie crust, and then I'm going to figure out how to make pumpkin pie filling. I think I'm going to do the cream cheese version of the pumpkin pie, so it might be no bake, so I might just have to cook the crust first and go from there, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay, for the graham cracker crust, it says to combine all the ingredients together. So I'm going to take the graham crackers and just dump them in here. And then the butter, pour that over the top. And then pour 3 tablespoons of sugar. So I got 1, 2, 3 of sugar. And I'm just going to mix that all up. So there's the 3 tablespoons that I'll set aside. Okay, now I'm going to just voice over the rest of this because there is something going on with my volume and I'm not sure how to fix it or what to do, but I've tried to edit as much as possible to make the voice over this prior a little bit better. But at any rate, I'm using 2 bread pans because I don't have any other pie pans and it works. And so I just took 2 of the pans and put the breadcrumbs down in the bottom and baked them for about 10 minutes. And then I'm just making my own whipping cream because I am making the pumpkin pie with the cream cheese in there, the cream cheese filling, so it asks for whipping cream and I didn't have any, or Cool Whip I guess I should say. So the whipping cream you have to just whip up and make with powdered sugar and vanilla and I will link a couple recipes below. If you're having trouble hearing this, you can use some links below that'll help you navigate if you want to make these recipes. But at any rate, the pumpkin pie filling, while I'm making the whipping cream, I'm going to make that pumpkin pie filling. So I'm just making that filling piece and taking the pumpkin puree, the pumpkin spice that it asks for, and the cinnamon, and the sugar. And it calls for brown sugar and white sugar. But if you do alternatives, you can certainly use alternatives for sugar if you don't use white sugars. I know that there's a lot of people that are trying not to use white sugar, so there's definitely alternatives out there. So, but at any rate, so this is going to just all be mixed up, and then I'm going to take the Cool Whip out when it's done, and the homemade Cool Whip out when it is done. And it actually takes a really long time to make the Cool Whip. You have to really whip it with the KitchenAid here. And so here it is. And I'm just going to take the cream cheese. It's been softened. It's been sitting out most of the day. And so I'm just going to take that cream cheese and mix it in with the pumpkin. And I didn't follow the recipe, so for sure follow the recipe, because I get so impatient. So I just like, oh, that'll work, and it doesn't work the way you want it to. And I think you're supposed to mix the cream cheese up first and then add the pumpkin pie filling, and I just didn't do that way. And then of course, when you're done with all of that and getting that all mixed and put together, you will want to flip in the Cool Whip. And I don't know the terminology for that, but you kind of just flip it as you're mixing it, and not mixing it or whisking it or stirring it. You're actually flipping the Cool Whip into the pumpkin pie filling mix. And so I just did that, and I put them all in the pans, and after they baked for about 10 minutes and cooled down for a little bit, I just put those in there and split it up half and half, and then put that 3 tablespoons of filling on the side, and so put that in the fridge for tomorrow. And I failed to make the pumpkin pie for this gluten-free pie crust, and so I'm not going to be making a cream cheese with the graham cracker. I'm going to just use that pumpkin pie cream cheese as the graham cracker crust as my pie. And then this, I'm actually making a quiche for dinner, and decided to just make the quiche with the pie crust that I had in the fridge. I just forked the pie crust and then added a cream cheese Parmesan mixture, and then I mixed some egg, and asked for heavy cream, but I didn't have any left, so I used whole milk, and then put in some diced up onions in that egg mixture. And then it asks to spray the spray stuff on the top, the canola oil spray on the top of it before you put it in the oven. And so here I'm just adding asparagus that I had on hand, and then I'm just adding that to the top of the egg mixture. And then I'm gonna bake it on, or actually I put on some salt on the top, and then some Parmesan as well on the top after I put the asparagus on. And I'm just gonna put it in the oven at 350 for about 35 to 45 minutes and call it a day. I never made a quiche before either, so this is all new to me, and I did it. You can do it too. So if this gives you any ideas for your Thanksgiving or holiday season, or just kind of that comfort food stuff during the winter months. At any rate, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe. I would love to have some feedback as well if you want to see something. But at any rate, here it is. And again, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great holiday. Stay safe. Bye.